What's up, YouTube? On today's episode of Jesse's World, we're gonna play a game of Deal or No Deal. I don't know if I can say that on YouTube or not, or if it's copyrighted, but whatever. So my old stereo for the living room is very old. This is my old stereo. It's an Onkyo. Let's see if there's a model number on here somewhere. Here we go. TXSV646 audio video controls receiver. And don't get me wrong, it's been a good stereo. It fully works as of now. And let's turn off the light here. Let's turn it up here. Let's see. Actually, I'm gonna pause you for a second. Alright, so I flipped it around. And this is what it's got on the back of it. It's got a multi-source pre-out, a multi-channel input, pre-outs for all channels, front, rear, main speakers, center, and a remote set of speakers. So you can have a second set of speakers. And then it's got the video 1, 2, and 3 and a monitor output right here for displaying the video from 1, 2, and 3. And then a tape deck 1 and 2, CD, and phono. So it's got all the basics for most stuff. There's a remote control for if you have a like a remote IR sensor that you want to place, like if this unit was to be in a cabinet somewhere out of sight and you wanted to still be able to control it, you could plug in a remote sensor to the control. I don't know what the MRX is, but either way, like I said, the unit, you know, there's nothing technically wrong with it, except for the fact that it's missing core things that I need, like HDMI. And I'm looking around on here. I don't see a manufacturing date. It says it was manufactured in Malaysia. And on the bottom, I don't see a manufacturer's date on the bottom either. Well, either way, it's been a good stereo. You know, it does what it's supposed to. It works every time. I've still got the original remote for it. There's the original remote. Onkyo remote control RC342M. It's got this is a really nifty feature. A, B, and learn. You could actually use these programmable button areas for the TV and VCR to learn from the other remote what like you press the play button on the other remote and you can teach the IR settings from it to this remote. And yeah, so it was pretty cool. I used to have all of the other stuff. My dad bought this new from H.H. Gregg in Kokomo, Indiana, like 25 years ago. I mean, I was still middle school, maybe, you know, right at the beginning of high school whenever he bought this thing. So I'm only the second owner. It's been in my family the entire time. But in today's world, it just doesn't have everything that I need. Sorry for the close-up. So I've been looking for about, I don't know, for the last 2 years or so, because I used to have a Sony 5-disc DVD changer that had like built-in home theater stuff and had a subwoofer, surround left and right, main left and right, and a center channel, and the IR receiver in the Sony went out, and I couldn't control the volume anymore, unless I got up and used the knob on the front of it, which was getting very annoying. So I just took it out because, well, it just wasn't working for me anymore. So today, actually, not today, Friday of last week. It's currently Thursday. I was browsing on eBay and I found it's another Onkyo. Clearly much more updated as far as styling goes. Let's see, TXNR509. It's got auxiliary inputs on the front, USB, a setup mic, HDMI throughput, and so far, everything has been. The other one just fell down. I guess it didn't like sitting up on its end. Okay, so this one is much heavier, by the way, than this new one. Well, maybe not much heavier. It's a couple pounds heavier, I would say. But anyway, I found this. Somebody was selling it on eBay, and it was $86 or $88, I think. And with taxes and everything, it came out to $92 shipped, because I specifically looked for one with free shipping. So this is the new one. It's a TXNR509, like the front said. Does someone have a manufacturing date on it? Apparently putting the manufacturing date on home theater receiver models is not something that is common practice. But anyway, we got center, front, and surround. No second, like, speaker connection for another zone. But this one has HDMI. It's got 4 ins and 1 out, Ethernet, component video for 2 components, and then a TV in, game audio and video in, cable audio and video in, DVD, VCR, or DVR, VCR in and out, Blu-ray disc in and out. I don't know who would use a Blu-ray or DVD player nowadays with a composite connection, but anyway, and then the monitor out. Universal port, says 5 volts, 0.5 amps. I think that's for like an iPod dock or something like that. And then it does have a zone 2 preamp output right here, so that if you wanted to run a set of RCA cables to a second amp in another room or something like that, you could do that. Or surround back if you wanted to run, you know, some cables out to a rear surround, I guess a second set of surround speakers, and then the subwoofer preamp output. And the reason why I got this one is, first of all, the HDMI, because my current TV only has 2 HDMI ports on it. I mainly only use one right now, but I probably would use more if I had more. The preamp output for the subwoofer, because I have that subwoofer over there that I got for free because somebody threw it away and there's nothing wrong with it. And then over here, the optical in. My old stereo doesn't have optical input, so I can't get the audio from the TV straight to the stereo no matter what I'm watching on it. So yeah, those are the biggies: the HDMI, the subwoofer preamp output, and the optical input, because they're all things that I need that my current older stereo didn't have. Alright, so first thing first, whenever I took it out of the packaging, there was a bit of a rattle inside of it, and I'm like, oh, that doesn't sound good. I should probably investigate that before I hook it all up and make sure that it works. I did plug it in and turn it on, and it does power on, and all the buttons and everything work. So I have taken the top off of it now, just because I wanted to make sure there wasn't like some kind of metal that was loose floating around inside of the the unit, because obviously metal's conductive and it could cause a short or something like that, and I didn't want anything like that to happen. So here it is. Got it apart. It was pretty simple. It was just 9 of these little screws, 3 on one side, 3 on the other, and 3 on the back, and then the cover came off of it. That's all I've done so far, is just taking the cover off of it, and I shook it around and got all the pieces that were in it to fall out, and this is what it was. Little tiny pieces of plastic. And from what I can tell, those little pieces of plastic go right here on the top of this. Like on this, like that one. See, there's supposed to be 3. See, that one's the only one that's intact, right? There's 3 there. There's only 2 there. So here's one of them. And then there's only 2 there. So there's another one of them. And there's only 2 there. There's the third one right there. So all 3 pieces of plastic are accounted for on where they go. So 1, 2, and 3. And I did notice that there's a little bit of the plastic right here is kind of, it's like, it's not really broken off, but it's not seated where it's supposed to be anymore. And this side too. But I'm guessing right here along this edge is probably a weak point, because back here you at least have metal on the top, and you got a metal ridge on the top of it. So yeah, shaking accounted for. So I will go through the process of putting it all back together and start getting it hooked up, and we'll see if I got a good deal or not a good deal. Okay, so I've noticed the first actual noticeable damage on the units. Right here in the corner, it looks like it was dropped and hit that corner right there. That's probably how all the other stuff got broken too. Looks like it got dropped pretty good right there. So hopefully it all works. Like I said, I paid $92 for it. In the description, it did not say anything about nothing functioning on it. It just said that it had normal signs of wear, and that was it. So like I said, we got the little pieces that broke off. We've got the damage to the corner, and other than that, it looks pretty good. So I'm about to get it all plugged up and get some HDMI running through it and see how, make sure that the HDMI works, the volume works. I do have to get a remote. It did say it does not come with a remote, so once I make sure that the unit actually fully works, I'll spend the money. It's like $10 or $15, and I can get it from Amazon and have it here in like 2 or 3 days. But I just wanted to make sure that the actual unit worked before spending extra money on a remote. But that's all I got for right now. I'll bring you back once I get it all hooked up and see how everything's going.